Good evening, everyone, all the way from Thailand. So today I'm excited to talk about the topic of success. Specifically, what I wish I would have known about success. So for myself, looking at my life now, having time to reflect, I wanted to pull out this wisdom that can help someone who is trying to figure out on their own out there. So first, to understand what I've learned about success, we need to go back to understand how I came to the conclusion of success. How did I define success? And I wanted to start from the very beginning. So for me, how success took shape was that I grew up in Laos. At that time, there was a war because there was communism, so our family left. I'm the youngest of 4 boys. We escaped the country, we got caught, and then we were taken to a refugee camp in Thailand. We were taken to a refugee camp in the Philippines, so that's what my childhood consists of. And then I came to the United States in San Diego, California, when I was 5 years old. Our family grew up very poor. We had to work very hard for what we had, and the thing that my parents instilled in me from a very young age, probably the first thing that I can remember, was that education is important. This is what is gonna get you out of poverty. This is what's gonna give you a good opportunity to be successful. But in order to be successful, go to school. Finish school as high as possible. Go get your doctorate degree, go finish a university, and then go get a good job. That was the message that came from my family. The other way how this took shape for me and how the idea of success came about was from my surroundings, from the culture. And this is the American dream. And when I share these kind of things, I want to make sure that we don't judge it as good or bad. For me, that's not my point of doing these kind of videos, but that's just the reality of the world that I came from. So imagine my background, the environment that I was around. Then I had a lot of pressure, whether it's through media, whether it's through the culture, through my friends, the school, the messages that I receive physically. Let's start there. On the physical level of being an American is you gotta be tall. You gotta be good looking. You gotta have muscles. Coming from Southern California is you need to be tan. You gotta get the 6-pack, but that's what, for me, the standard of success on the physical level looks like. Another measure that I picked up of success in the Western world was that you need certain markers. Certain markers were having a beautiful partner. Again, not just a partner, but a beautiful partner, having a good job, having a big house, the white picket fence, owning your own home, having a good career. Those were some of the external things. Another measure of success, let me add to that marker as well, is just to have kids. And that was something that I subscribed to, and I wanted those things as well at that moment. Another marker that was instilled in me, or that I picked up along the way, were status and status roles. And those things included your profession and your titles. Like I said before, go get that, not master's, but PhD. Be a doctor. Be a licensed person. Have these credentials, have these titles. Whatever job you're gonna get, you better be the top, and you better be a professional. So again, these were the messages. So from these types of external markers, hey, I subscribe to it fully. And that's how I live my life, like many people. And my whole world, growing up from high school to university to professional life, this is what I did. Physically, in California, for me, I worked out. I wanted that good-looking body. I wanted to be fit. When I was in San Diego or near the Los Angeles area, then I would go tanning because I wanted the dark tone, dark skin that looks so beautiful in my eyes at the time. I would go surfing, I would lift weights, and just going to the gym in general for me was a release, and it was very fulfilling for me at that time. Regarding the external world, I would put so much pressure on myself to be in a relationship, and I need a partner. And I need a partner because I need to get married. And along with that, then I need to have children. And I wanted a lot of children. I wanted 4, 6, 8, 10, even number of children, but I knew I wanted a lot with a big home. And I pursued that. The home I got, I was so happy because then I eventually moved to Malibu. In my eyes, wow, you guys, I made it. It was success for me. A success for me because at that time I was working as a licensed marriage and family therapist. Like I said, I got the license, I got the title. I had my own private practice seeing clients in Malibu. And Malibu was so dreamy because this is where they filmed all the movies. Baywatch, I grew up watching these things. I grew up watching movies of success, and I made it. I lived up on a beautiful hill. And for myself, I'm afraid of heights, and my home at that time was on a high mountain, and it was on Pacific Coast Highway. And I remember driving up on this hill. Wow, it was scary. Some days it had a lot of fog, and because my fear of heights, going close to the rail was so scary, but at the same time for me, I'm like, I made it. This is it. And I remember just being in that space and just feeling so proud. Again, all those things that I talk about, and I kept working towards them. I kept living this kind of lifestyle because that's what I knew. That is what success looked like to me. Then along this path, as I was progressing in my world, trying to continue on this path, 2 things always was on my mind, in the back of my mind. The more I got successful with professional life, with dance, with all these different things, the 2 questions. One, the question that was quietly hanging behind the scenes was, I remember looking at my life, going through the motions. And this was the time I was in Malibu, and I'm like, wait, is this it? Meaning, is there more to this? And I started to see a pattern because I got comfortable. And my schedule really was like clockwork. Every morning, I would wake up, I would get myself ready, I would drive to the office, which was 30 minutes away. And at that time, I was working at the drug treatment center as a program therapist, working with addicts. Then I would do this long work day, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12-hour days. Then I would drive back on Pacific Coast Highway. I would go to San Marcos. I would go to the gym. I would work out. Other days I would alternate, then I would take dance class because there were a lot of hip hop studios, there were ballet classes, and it was a beautiful time. And then I would go to rehearsals on the weekend, and then I would come home. But for a long time, this was it. And I've always had it in the back of my mind of, wait, is this life? Is this what life consists of? I wake up, go to work, I work out, I come home. Same, same pattern over and over and over. So this was just a question that started to linger. The second thing that was in the back of my mind, quietly there, that I noticed was, wait, is there an end to success? Meaning, so I get a good job, I make money, which I'm grateful for, I have a beautiful house, and then I get more money, then I work more, bigger house, and more, and more, and more. Then I had a thought of, is there ever an enough? Will I reach a point where I can stop this, or do I just do this and keep getting bigger for the rest of my life? And this is what sparked a questioning of my life, to the point where it brought me then to the monastery, because I wanted to find answers to these questions. And now I've been here in the monastery for many years, and this has been my lifestyle for some time now. Now going back to you, and the original question that I asked in the beginning is, what did I wish I knew about success? And for me now at this point, maybe I was told these kind of things, maybe I've heard it, but it didn't register. But in this moment, if I were to look back, what I wish I knew about success, what I wish I had the courage to listen to, first thing is that the messages of success that we are told or instilled in us, in my case was the American dream. The first thing is that you don't have to follow that. Maybe to many people out there listening, you're like, duh, you don't have to. But for me, I didn't know that. When you're in it and coming from the background that I came from, where I had nothing, this was all I knew. If I don't know anything else, then what is the other option? And for me, it took my whole life, or most of my life, a lot of suffering, to get to the point where I realized that I don't have to follow the standards of success that has been told to me. The big house, having a partner, having children, being rich, living in Malibu, living in the city, having this, whatever those things are that was told to me, I don't have to subscribe to it. The second thing that I wish I knew on top of that when it comes to success is that there are other options. And I didn't know that until I came to live in the monastery. Because if you don't have those external success, I didn't have that extra model, what else can you do? And the monastery helped me to answer that question. Here's what I learned about, or in the monastery, regarding success. For us, we left that world. So now success isn't those titles and labels and the standard American dream. And it's so strange because wearing these robes now, our identity is gone, our title is gone, our status is gone. I'm just wearing this beautiful saffron robes. And if you don't have that as a measure of success, then, well, how do we have a marker of success? And in the monastery, you have to understand is that what we're doing is we're training our mind. We're training our habits. There are so many teachings in Buddhism, 84,000 teachings. And it can go on and on and on and on. But what our master nun summarized it into was so beautiful. When they asked her, if you can summarize all the teaching of Buddhism into something small, how would you describe it? And she gave one word. Yes, that's right, one word to describe 84,000 teachings. To keep it the most simple, she said, in Buddhism, it comes back to purity. That's it. Purity of what? Purity of your thoughts, purity of your speech, and purity of your action. This is comprised of the mind and the body. Again, thought, speech, and action. So for us, how we measure success now is with those things. Every single day is how pure is your thoughts. And thoughts meaning your intentions behind those thoughts also. How pure and wholesome is your speech? How pure and wholesome is your behavior? So each day for us, when we first come to the monastery, I'll use a personal example is I had bad habits. I didn't want to wake up early. Regarding speech, I didn't even know there was a measure. I didn't even know what was wholesome and not wholesome. I didn't even know there were categories of, oh, not wholesome means that it's divisive, it's harsh, it's not the proper timing, it doesn't have the pure intention, but I didn't know those things. But living here in our world now that is our marker for success. How you showed up here on day one as a new monk, it's okay. Acknowledge that, own that, accept that. This is where you are. And each day moving forward as a new monk, go improve that. Go observe it, go know it, and then now start to change those habits. Every single day now we look back at our life. The end of every night we reflect back. Were my thoughts wholesome, pure, kind, compassionate today? Were my speech wholesome, kind, compassionate, pure today? And also look at your actions. What did you do today? Were they wholesome, kind, compassionate, and pure? And this now is our new marker for success. And living this lifestyle, if you were to ask me, really? That's it and you can be happy? For me, I would say, yeah, yes. While I don't have those kind of external success, worldly success, for me, being a good, pure, wise person who is continuing to develop himself, where he is, as of today, not trying to do any harm to himself and to others, I feel good. I feel good. And I look at my life as coming again from nothing, coming from a refugee camp where I shouldn't even be alive. Literally, there were so many times, markers, signposts in my life, I shouldn't be alive. And the fact that I am, each day I get to improve me, I get to improve the quality of my mind, and then I get to help other people. It makes me feel good in a different way. It's a refined kind of feeling. It's this inner joy, this inner peace that is not tangible outside, but it's tangible inside. And I don't know how else to describe it except you gotta try it out and you have to test it for yourself. And this kind of peace and joy can come from purifying one's thought, speech, and action. So this is possible. So then what is my takeaway from this video? And the takeaway for me is that you do not have to simply accept the measure of success that is handed down to you. Well then, Venerable Nick, are you saying I have to become a monk? No. Never am I saying that. But for me is take a step back. Look at your life and be conscious. Take a step back and take time to reflect. What are your values? Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to achieve? If you're simply subscribing to the measure of success that is given to you, in my case, it was the house, job, wife, kids, then again, you do not have to accept that. Look at your values, look at what brings you joy, and again, look at where you're trying to go. If it does not match that, then find a different measure. And I can't tell you exactly where to go. One thing I can share is whatever you're trying to do, at least trying to keep it wholesome and legal and live a good life. Then outside of that, take time to reflect on you. Maybe at the end of the day for you is you just want to live a life of peace. Maybe you want to live a simple life. Maybe you want to have a good mental health, where you feel good when you're waking up, where you don't feel so stressed when you're sleeping. Again, maybe that might look like, I don't live in a big city. Maybe I have a small cottage outside in the mountains by myself because I value peace, because my nature, because my temperament, what I enjoy and what I value, this suits me. And to get to this point, it needs reflection. It needs time to turn inwards. And this is why meditation is so important, so that you can get still. If meditation is still new for you, give it a try. If it's too much, just have alone time. Or if that's too much, go get still. Be in nature, be in the forest, slow down, whatever you need to do, but even taking time to be silent, taking time to reflect, but see of the current measure of success that you have for you in your life now. Does it work for you? And for me, I cannot answer that for you, but I'm simply sharing the wisdom that I learned through my life because it came with a lot of suffering. When you don't know anything else and you feel like that's your only choice and you're not living up to those standards, then of course you're gonna feel like a failure. Of course you're gonna feel like you're not there. And until I had other options and I explored that and it fits me, now it freed up my whole world. But I'm going on a long rant, and as always, I just hope these kind of things make sense to you. Take time to reflect on it and ponder it, and hopefully it sparks something into your life and into your world. But as always, I wanted to send you my blessings from Thailand. Hope you are all well, and take care, everyone. Satu.